Just because the days are short and the weather has been less than ideal doesn't mean you have to stay cooped up. Winter can be one of the most rewarding times to explore the outdoors, and lucky for us, hiking guide, author, and wildlife photographer Tami Asars is back with 5 lowland winter hikes that you can head out and enjoy right now. Tami, love to have you. So excited for this roundup.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back. This is great.
So Cape Alava Loop, what is this one?
So, you know, we are so lucky to live in a state where we have mountains, we have oceans. So when it's snowy in the mountains, head to the coast. So this is one that people may not think about, but it's a beautiful place to go. You can actually just hike out there in the winter. You do have to watch for slippery boardwalks and things, but it's beautiful to see the ocean in the actual winter time because it's something a lot of people visit during the summer, but it's so peaceful out there. Lots of birds, lots of just, you know, gorgeous sunsets this time of year. Even though it's raining, you usually do get a little pop of sun somewhere in there. And you can either do the upper trail, which is Cape Alava, or you can do the Sandpoint Trail, and it's a loop, so you can do them both if you have time.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful place to go.
And all the wildlife that you're showing in those pictures too, your photos, you know, are always just stunning.
Yeah.
That always makes me want to get out if nothing else.
Yeah.
Next up, Middle Fork. What is this one?
Middle Fork Snoqualmie. So this is a trail that was once a road. In the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps built a road out there that was actually designed for logging and for mining purposes. But now, of course, we don't do that out there. So it's a beautiful little trail. It's lots of drapey, like big cedars with lots of moss and ferns. It's just a good place to go to walk. And you can walk on it as far as you want and come back when you're tired of it. But if you just want to get a really good walk, and it's not very hard, which is nice for people that are just looking. Yeah, that are just looking for somewhere to go walk their dog or just stretch their legs. And you can still get a good workout on, you know, if you pump it up a little with speed, whatever you want to do, or trail run.
Yeah, wear your weighted vest. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, right.
Poo Poo Point, I've heard of this one.
Yep.
This is always iconic. What's the trail that you have in mind?
Yeah, so Poo Poo Point Chirico Trail is awesome. So this is hard, so it's a great workout. You get up there and you get these sweeping panoramic views of Lake Sammamish, the Olympics. That is a brand new bench that I had the privilege of being involved in. It's for the late, great Bob Rivers, who was also in media. He was a Seattle longtime radio talk show host in the area. So go check that out. It's really, really beautiful up there in the winter. Sometimes there's snow. Sometimes it's wide open, so just be prepared for whatever, but it's a great place to go.
And 4 miles round trip,
yeah,
did
it's
I
about
see that?
4 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one for sure. Mount Rainier, we're headed there next.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about this one?
Oh my gosh, you know, me and Mount Rainier, I just love this place. But in the winter, do make sure the gates are open. That is one thing I'd like to tell people because they do close them periodically. But you can strap on your snowshoes at Narada Falls and you can walk up to Stevens Canyon Road. And if people who have been to Mount Rainier are familiar with Reflection Lakes, you can actually get out to Reflection Lakes this way. Stevens Canyon Road is close to cars, so it becomes like in the winter this beautiful little snowshoe path. And it's fairly flat, and then from there you can take off wherever you want to go. If you want to go up to Mazama Ridge, which is where this is, sit and get a view of the mountain. Like, this is true, for me, this is like the true winter snowshoe hike. Like, it's your dead alpine.
Breathtaking.
Look at
that.
Yeah, showcasing the Northwest. And of course, these little guys want to steal your sandwich, but don't let them. They're shameful
Even though
little
they're
faces.
so cute.
They're so cute. I know, they're darling, but you have to be careful with feeding wildlife.
That is an iconic winter hike
Yes,
that I'm adding to my list. This one I've also heard, and I've done this one, Franklin Falls.
Yep. So Franklin Falls, that can freeze, like in the photos you can see.
Beautiful.
But sometimes it doesn't always look like that, and it's just this beautiful waterfall. Either way, you get a really great winter hike and snowshoe. It depends whether you actually want to snowshoe it, if it's fresh snow like we've just had in the Cascades now, or if you need like shoe traction. So we'll talk about that in a minute, a couple different things. But pretty fun to see Franklin Falls. This one is fairly short, so it's an easy one for most folks to get to and back in a day trip. Also, watch your snow park permits. A lot of these places have snow park permits that are different than like your summertime Northwest Forest passes. So just make sure you log on and get what you need for those for parking.
Definitely, and I'm excited when you tell me the traction things in a bit. But first, Kendall Peaks.
Yeah, so Kendall Peaks is also great. This one is up at the top of Snoqualmie Pass, and again, it utilizes a defunct forest road, and you get up there and it's a pretty tough one.
8.4 miles round trip.
So you and I were
Whoa.
just talking about snowshoeing and how hard it is, right? It's a lot different than like hiking because every step you make is requiring your body to adjust to these little micro movements so that this heavy stuff's strapped to your feet. Do use trekking poles. They're super helpful for that kind of thing with big snow baskets so they don't punch through, you know. But you get up to these lakes, and what's great is there's actually 3 lakes. The first one's like a big, huge swampy lake, but when it's covered in snow, you have no idea that it's a swamp, and it's shallow. And then there's a second one that's pretty accessible, and that one's more like an actual alpine lake that is just absolutely breathtaking. And so earlier this year, my husband and I went up there and punched a trail through to it. So that was really great. And so if anybody's following that trail, you know, it's kind of neat because it's like, I hope other people can find it now a little easier.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll work up to that one.
Yeah,
that won't be my first one.
Do have your navigation if you go to that one.
Okay.
It can be a little bit tricky to find because there's a little offshoot from the forest road. So.
Okay, good to know, good tips. Now you're showing me we know where to go, but how do we prepare?
Yeah, so snowshoes, of course. And I have a backpack here. You guys might be interested if you're doing this a lot. You might be interested in this. This actually is like a winter pack that has straps to carry your snowshoes because sometimes you're not sure. Am I going to need them? Am I just going to be okay with traction? So that's great. I have here. This is a little communication device. If anything happens, this isn't a bad piece to have on you in the winter.
Stay
especially.
prepared.
Yeah. Microspikes. There's so many people that don't know about like shoe traction, right? And they're just little tire chains for your feet is really what they are. And they just slide over your shoes and
you can just slip them on pretty easily.
Yep, and you just slip them on and they're nice and taut when they're on there and they just give you so much traction. And honestly can save you in a lot of places because we have some really steep hills and some big cliffs and things. And so
Franklin Falls.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Yeah, it helps a ton because Franklin Falls gets icy, especially where that water comes down. So a lot of hikes like that. You know.
And then gloves and a hat. Don't forget all of that too, right?
These are actually my favorite, one of my favorite. These are heated. So you can just turn them on and see the little red light. And so my hands are always cold. If this is you, these are a great one to have. They have a little battery pack. Lastly, don't forget the headlamp.
Oh yes, so important.
Search and Rescue has done a lot of missions where people are using their phones for illumination. That's hard to do because you're slipping, you're trying to grab onto things, and you're also trying to hold a phone. Not to mention that's a lot of people's emergency communication device these days, and you don't want to run your battery down. So do have a good headlamp.
Perfect. Tami, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
I can't
having
wait
me.
to get out and hike. Happy hiking.